people died and 2 were injured in a shooting Wednesday morning at an Edgewood area business park, the Harford County Sheriff said. The shooting occurred around 8:58 a.m. at Advanced Granite Solutions, according to Sheriff Jeffrey Galler. All 5 people were shot with a handgun, and are employees of the business, Galler said. In a 2:10 p.m. briefing, Galler said the number of dead in the Edgewood incident remains at 3. "We pray the number doesn't get any higher," he said. The 2 wounded victims are in critical condition, one having just come out of surgery at shock trauma, Galler said. "This does appear to be a targeted attack, limited to that business," Galler said at a morning news conference. Galler identified the suspect as 37-year-old Rady Laby Prince, who worked for about 4 months at the business. He was scheduled to work Wednesday, Galler said in a news briefing around 2:10 p.m. In an interview with the Associated Press, Barak Kaba, the owner of Advanced Granite Solutions, said Prince worked as a machine operator. Police in Delaware say Prince is a suspect in a shooting that occurred Wednesday morning in Wilmington. Galler said the Wilmington shooting, in which Prince is a suspect, occurred a short time after the Harford County shooting. Police did not identify those wounded or deceased in either shooting. Galler said there were quite a few more than 5 people at Advanced Granite at the time of the shooting, and witnesses are being interviewed. "We do not believe that anybody else was involved in this incident," Galler said. Galler said the first call came into law enforcement at 8:58 a.m., and deputies arrived 4 minutes later. The Advanced Granite website says the business showroom opens at 8 a.m. on weekdays. The suspect left the Harford County scene in a black 2008 GMC Acadia with Delaware tags, the sheriff said. A residence in Cecil County was searched as part of the investigation, he said. Galler said no stone will be left unturned in the multi-jurisdiction search for Prince. Galler said he would tell Prince to consider what he's already done and put an end to it and turn himself in. A modified lockdown has been lifted from those Harford County schools in the Edgewood area that were placed under precautions earlier in the day, district officials said. "There's an individual out there on the loose who's committed one of the most heinous acts in our county. We certainly consider him armed and dangerous," Galler said. According to Advanced Granite Solutions website, the company designs, manufactures and installs granite, marble and stone countertops and other surfaces in Maryland, Pennsylvania and Delaware. David Fitz, an FBI spokesman, said the FBI is actively looking for Prince in Maryland and Delaware and beyond, and has activated its call line, 1-800-CALL-FBI, for anyone with tips for law enforcement. But, Fitz said, if anyone sees Prince, they need to call 911. Prince had several prior arrests and run-ins with law enforcement, court records show. In December 2003, he pleaded guilty in Delaware to 15 counts of third-degree burglary and was sentenced to 25 years with all but 2 years suspended, court records show. He was ordered to pay $34,500 in restitution, the records show. He was charged with several handgun counts in March 2015 in Cecil County, including being a felon in possession of a firearm and carrying a handgun in vehicle. Those charges were dropped by Cecil County prosecutors about 3 months later. A Cecil County officer pulled Prince over for driving with his front headlight out, court records show. As the officer explained why he had stopped him, Prince began getting extremely loud and aggressive. Prince would not stop screaming, according to the officer's statement. Officers later found a black pistol underneath his center console. In February, a peace order, Maryland's equivalent of a restraining order, was taken out against him in Harford County but was denied. A co-worker sought the peace order against Rady Prince in February, saying Prince had punched an employee in the face and returned and threatened employees. The order said he was fired from the job after the attack. The sheriff's office posted on its Twitter feed around 9:10 a.m. that there was police activity in area of Morton Business Park and people should avoid the area. Morton Business Park is just south of the Interstate 95 interchange with Route 24, parts of it visible from the highway. Kevin Doyle, 47, works as a maintenance technician for Thornhill Properties and was on a job nearby. He was outside getting more tools from his vehicle when he saw people running from the shooting scene. 3 guys came running. They were terrified, Doyle said. You could tell this was something big. They were in shock. One of them was crying, "They're shot in the head, they're shot in the head." I started to go down there to see if I could help, and one of them said, "Don't go down there, there's shooting." Doyle said he called 911 and saw the first police officer arrive at the entrance to the industrial park on Edgewood Road. As the investigation was initially unfolding, the sheriff's office asked media to refrain from airing aerial video that may reveal tactical positioning at the scene. The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives ATF out of Baltimore also responded to the scene to support the local Harford authorities in their investigation, the federal agency said. Jason Bradfield, 33, a sales representative at the nearby Classic Team sports store, said he and 4 other employees were preparing for the day when they noticed what looked like SWAT officers walking by with guns drawn outside. The sight made him nervous and reassured. He said, "We were not really sure what they were doing," he said. Soon after, someone at the neighboring suite told him and his co-workers that there was a shooter in the small business park. Bradfield said, "We locked the doors and were basically on lockdown now," he said at the time. Bradfield said Classic Team Sports is toward the back of the small business park, and most of the police activity appeared to be focused toward the front of the park. There was no traffic coming or going down the street, he said. "Crazy world we live in. It's hard to fathom. It's pretty close to home," Bradfield said of the shooting. "You would never think that it would happen. It's not something you would think would happen so close." The sheriff's office says that family members worried that the loved ones may be injured in the shooting may gather at the Richland Ballroom on Edgewood Road. One of them was crying, "They're shot in the head, they're shot in the head." Kevin Doyle witnessed 2 employees evacuating shooting scene. There was a heavy police presence in Prince's Elkton neighborhood. Police tape blocked off his street as armed officers patrolled nearby areas. Neighbors said Prince was quiet and largely kept to himself. "He just really wasn't approachable," said June Rivera, 33, who lives next door. "Sometimes he got combative with neighbors." Rivera said he was shocked when police started swarming the area Wednesday's morning. Then he saw what took place on the news. "For him to do that so close to home is crazy," Rivera said. "You wouldn't think he had that in him." Cedric Brown said HES lived near Prince for the past 3.5 years. He said Prince lived with a woman. The 2 men would sometimes shovel snow together, and Brown said Prince never appeared violent. "I only saw him smiling and laughing," said Brown, 67. "I was shocked when they said it was him. He just really wasn't approachable." A neighbor of the suspected gunman, Gov. Larry Hogan, said the state had 2 helicopters and the state's fugitive apprehension team looking for the suspect. The killer remains on the loose. He was last seen heading toward Cecil County, toward Elkton, close to the Delaware line, Hogan said during an unrelated event at the State House in Annapolis. The governor said he spoke with Harford County Executive Barry Glassman and Sheriff Jeffrey Geller, and that the FBI, the Maryland State Police and the Maryland Transportation Authority are helping the sheriff's office. He said 3 people were dead and 2 others were shot in the head. "I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that was happening," Hogan said during a Board of Public Works meeting that he briefly left to get an update on the unfolding search for the shooter. "The state is providing every possible assistance to the local government. My thoughts and prayers are with the people, the families of those who have lost their lives and been injured," Hogan said, adding that "I think everything is under control at this point." In a statement, Glassman said, "Our sympathy and prayers are with the families of the lost and the injured employees in today's horrible shooting. Harford's Allied Emergency Services are assisting the Harford County Sheriff's Office and the impacted families. In addition, my administration's Department of Emergency Services is assisting our local, state and federal partners in apprehending the suspect." Schools nearby were placed on a modified lockdown. That precaution has since been lifted, school officials said. Earlier in the day, the Harford County Public School System reported on its website, "This is an important message regarding an incident in the community that has affected the school day at Edgewood High School, Edgewood Middle School, Deerfield Elementary School, Edgewood Elementary School and William Packer Old Post Road Elementary School." The website alert reads, "On the advice of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, these schools are currently on modified lockdown due to an incident in the surrounding community. The modified lockdowns are being conducted in an abundance of caution. The modified lockdown requires students to remain in the building, with no outside activities. In addition, no visitors are permitted to enter our building at this time." When we are given the all-clear by the sheriff's office and the modified lockdown is lifted, we will update the affected school communities. Our schools are secure at this time, and we ask for your patience and understanding that we are receiving an influx of calls and you may not be able to get through right away. We will do our best to answer any questions you may have if it is necessary to contact the affected schools at this time. This story will be updated. Baltimore Sun Media Group reporters Erica Butler, Justin Fenton, Allison Nizovich, Jessica Anderson, Talia Richman and Erin Cox contributed to this story.